Welcome, guys, to the second interview of the Messenger Marketing and Mastery Summit. And we are here with Sal Kuyateh, who is a artificial intelligence developer. And I'm excited about getting into it because we were talking earlier before we started the live stream about how there is still a lot of confusion from a lot of marketers about, or just a lot of chatbot builders on how to take their chatbots to the next level. And they see all these cool bots that are being built and they see all these cool features that are being put into bots. But I think that there is a missing link that you have realized, and you guys are now starting a community to kind of bridge the gap for marketers and developers to be able to kind of, as you said, like unleash these capabilities in chatbots. So thanks for the time, man. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. No problem.
So Sal, we've kind of loosely been connected for a long time. We mentioned before that we have some mutual friends, but I know that when there's people I admire who recommend people, like that for me is enough. And you actually were someone that a long time ago, our mutual friend Don was like, you've got to connect with Sal. He's doing some stuff with chatbots too. And this was even before I had even started talking or doing any training on it. So you have been in this kind of chatbot world for quite a while, and you have quite a reputation already. But can you catch us up and fill us in on how you got here and kind of why you chose the chatbot world to kind of spend your time in and to build your business and your projects around?
Yeah. Actually, I started with chatbots way before I got popular on Facebook. So I was in the GitHub community, and these guys were creating chatbots back in, like, I want to say 2014, 15, like when Kick was getting popular and people were like with their bots on Kick. So I got interested, started doing a little bit of side things with that, writing it in Python and the PHP languages. It was pretty fun, and I just got pretty much addicted.
You were back. I never even had a Kick account, so I don't even know what that was. So chatbots, a lot of people think of this like a new thing. Chatbots are not new. I mean, did you have an AIM account back in the day?
Yeah.
I mean, they had chatbots back in the day where you would kind of ask an AIM bot, some silly stuff. So, so why did you stick with it? Why did you kind of keep going? Because now it's in a different iteration than it was back then. And I think it's a little more mainstream, probably a lot more mainstream than it was back then for sure. So what made you stick around with it?
It's definitely fun to work in all the artificial intelligence and how intelligent it can get. Always interested me, and I always want to work more and more and be part of that driven development movement to bring it to the next level.
So when you think about chatbots, like what are some of the capabilities like that you see and that you appreciate, right? Because a lot of people, like we show, to some of our clients, we show them some basic web views and we show them some basic links that we put in buttons and a couple of galleries and stuff like that, and they're blown away. But for you, I don't know that necessarily is going to impress you. What sort of capabilities do you think are at the cutting edge or at the tip of where chatbots are right now in terms of their capabilities?
It's platforms like Facebook and Microsoft and Google are all making it easier for the non-developers now, with all them doing the NLP in the background. It's definitely easier now. Back then, like I was saying, 2014, 15, it was just us, building the frameworks from scratch. But now they have their own frameworks for us where we can just, type it in 30 seconds and you got a hello world chatbot. So I feel like it's definitely changed a little bit in that perspective.
And so you think the access has just made it a lot easier, the ability for a dumb marketer like myself to jump in and create, a chatbot, right? Because even like for me, like people they think like, oh my goodness, like you know how to do this, and I'm like, I know how to type, you know how to type too. Like if you spent a couple of hours on Chatfuel, like you probably could figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what are now some of these capabilities that you feel people are discovering and like people are now starting to unlock? Or what are some of your favorite things that chatbots can do that just the typical chat fuel, or what I call it, many crash, like what are some of the capabilities that you're excited about now, that you see in some chatbots or that you've implemented in some of yours?
Yeah, definitely. Carousel, that's probably the biggest thing. And I think that's the biggest thing that really get clients that say, oh my God, I love you, because just the carousel alone drives clients to come to you. Web views, the second biggest thing after carousel. Those are the two biggest factors I think have taken over, and people are starting to discover that's what drives the clients to come more and more. But there's also a section of them that you need a little bit of coding skill to make it even more impressive.
So when you think about, I remember when we got into talking about it, we started talking about artificial intelligence, and we started talking about how to, that was really what it's going to be. For you, when you think about chatbots and AI, why do those match so well together? Why do those pair so well together? And how do you see that? Like what kind of functions does that provide for a business? Because I think like a lot of businesses don't even realize like what a chatbot can do.
Right.
So when you think about AI plus a chatbot, where does your brain start to go, or what are some of the possibilities that you start to think of?
Definitely entities. The bot itself picking up the contexts, that kind of thing. Those are the kind of the basics of the chatbots and artificial intelligence, and that's where they meet. So it makes it smarter. Like you and I were speaking earlier, I was watching. You guys are right. The brain, that's the brain part of it. And the body parts like Chat Fuel or Microsoft's framework or Facebook's framework. So they go together. And if you bring them together, now you have the ultimate chatbot. If you keep one on one side or one on the other, it doesn't really work out well. I mean, you can probably have a basic bot, but you probably won't impress clients as much.
Yeah, I think that what a lot of people don't realize is that this industry is going to progress really, really quickly. And
Yeah.
what was like you said, the gallery and the web view, I mean, breakthrough kind of stuff that now, a lot of marketers might go, well, Chatfield does that. ManyCrash can do that really easily. And so similarly, a lot of business owners are going to be looking for the next step. And I've always said that, chatbots are really the place where developers and marketers meet. And the problem now is that I'm a dumb marketer. Like we need people like you who actually know how to do these things. And that's kind of what you're starting to work on now, and in helping people to figure out some of these things. So I put it here in the description. But talk a little bit about what you're going to be starting and how you're going to be helping people to like essentially unlock these capabilities in their chatbots.
Yeah. So shout out to Carl Dabrowski, really cool guy. So Carl and I have been discussing for the past 6 months, what can we do? We've been working a lot behind the scenes on Dialogflow. We run a Dialogflow community, which is unofficial, but we still have connections. I still talk to some of the Googlers about it. But anyways, we decided that there was a problem. The first problem was we wanted clients for ourselves, to do bots for them, but we realized it's kind of starting to get a little bit competitive. So we decided to throw that out the window, and decided to do something better, is to help the people who are actually trying to get clients, to bridge the gap for them, to make it more impressive for their clients.
Mm-hmm.
Bring pretty much marketers and developers together to match. So we our community basically to run it down. We already started the website for it. We're doing a little bit of testing. We're going to open up the beta for people to join. And we have a lot of server space. I have servers here in New York and LA. So we're able to take on a lot of people right now, early on. So yeah, basically the marketers, don't know how to code, and a lot of developers don't know how to market.
Right.
So, like me, like that's how me and Carl kind of met. He's kind of more of a marketer, and I'm a coder, and I don't know how to market, and he's not really an advanced coder. So that's how we match. So that's what we're hoping to bring to this community, and people will start getting programmer scripts that aren't expensive, but at the same time is affordable, that they can resell to their customers. They'll make the money back anyways. So you're spending a little bit, and you're going to get that money back, like whatever you charge your, client. So that's what we're trying to do, because a lot of programmers can get a lot of expensive. When you ask them to do this, but I don't think marketers really know what they want. But me and Carl kind of figured it out, since we're both in the chatbot community and the AI community together. So we're bringing those pieces all together.
Interesting. I'm curious because I'm a marketer, so like for you to say, because I don't even know. Like I was fortunate enough that I'm vocal enough in the bot world that I had people reach out to me, and I was lucky enough to kind of have my pick of who I wanted to partner with, which looking back, and I kind of look back on it, and I'm very fortunate of that. But I noticed that in the community, there are a lot of people who came over from the ClickFunnels community, a lot of people who came over from the Facebook ads community, and they all of a sudden, they go, oh yeah, I can do chatbots. I know how to set up an account on ManyCrash. But then after that, like, well, then what? So what do you think is the only answer finding someone who is like you, who's like a counterpart that's on the developer side, or is there a way to learn this stuff?
There's a way to learn it. Anybody can code. I always say anybody can learn to code. It's just a lot of people don't put the effort into it. Mm-hmm. So if you're not willing to put the effort into it, you're already losing money on your business, because coding can take you a long way. And that's what I figured out over the years. I mean, I've been coding since I was 12. Wow. So I've been at it for 12 years now or so. And I realized, but I didn't, because I'm not really a business guy. So once I got to I was in college, 2021, I realized, wow, coding can take you a long way. I mean, I've been doing it for at that time for a little bit. But then when I got into college, I realized coding is the key to our world. It's a skill people need. Even basic HTML, CSS. Even Dawn, Dawn, she asks me HTML and CSS. She's learning it for her business because she know it'll take her a long way. That's all you need to know, really. You don't need to know all the advanced coding or anything like that.
For me, my and this is just a limiting belief that's coming up, right? And I'm like, if I started to code, I feel like my websites would look like the old Yahoo GeoCities one, where you had you got excited because you changed the color, and you're like, oh, the font bigger, look at that.
Yeah, and I was the same way. I mean, I was young, and I was like, did I break something? Did I crash my website already? I was always scared for the longest time to do people's websites, because I feel like that they would just be like, what are you doing? So it took me a while to get a first customer, do website development, but it wasn't my thing. So I decided to move away from that and do more advanced coding stuff. That's where I'm at now with chatbots and AI.
So Dialogflow is essentially what you found a lot of. Earlier today we were talking with Pat about Dialogflow. Is that where you found a lot of I don't know if mobility is the right word, or found a lot of access, or is that where you build a lot of your kind of agents or build a lot of your stuff, or are you kind of coding it yourself?
Well, that's a good question, because me and a couple different, it's funny, I had two different conversations with two friends, and we were talking about do we need Chatfield? Do we need, as you say, ManyCrash? Because we are coders, the reason why we use Dialogflow though is to automate the process, because we joke around in the developer community, all chatbots are else if commands. So if you're a developer watching, you'll know what I mean. So, because that's what I started as SILF, I was writing the code, LSILF, do this, SILF, do that. And now Dialogflow kind of automates that for us. So we don't have to keep writing LSILF and changing it around. So, so that's that's why Dialogflow is kind of a lifesaver, I like to say.
So a lot of people, in the developer world, a lot of people don't really enjoy many crash as much just because it's limiting. Chat Fuel is definitely a lot more capable, but what you're saying is that Dialogflow essentially just speeds up what a developer would have to do anyways. Like, it's not really limiting them, but it's really speeding up and accelerating a lot of what would kind of be almost a rote, process, I'd imagine.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what gets you excited, man? Because chatbots, like, for a lot of people, especially like people who don't get it, it sounds like a very boring thing. It sounds like a very, and I think chatbots was definitely given by a developer because it's the worst marketing term ever. It's the worst tool to sell with because businesses are like, what is a chatbot? I don't want that. That sounds terrible. So it's definitely named by a developer. However, with that being said, like with this in this industry, with whatever AI, with what you're launching, like what are you excited about, and what kind of makes you look forward to the future of where this whole stuff is going?
I'm actually working on a secret project now too. Besides the AI community, I'm working on a machine learning. Right now it's just me, but I'm testing out stuff. I'm taking on a couple businesses to test it on. Machine learning is going to be the next big thing. Some people are kind of a little bit ahead of the curve. I feel like I'm one of those people who kind of took a step leap while people are still catching up on chatbots. Machine learning, image recognition, all going to be implemented into your chatbots. So your chatbots are going to know it's you. It's going to know it's your customer. Twilio too. Shout out to Twilio, the guys at Twilio, the developers. They're really awesome people. I talk to them quite often. Businesses are starting to realize their chatbots are going to text for them. Deal with all their customers. Handle all that while they're dealing with customers. So it's kind of like limiting employees, but at the same time, it's not really stealing jobs, but kind of helping small businesses grow rapidly. And they're going to start realizing that, you need chatbots.
Yeah. So machine learning, right, and integrating. Do you think that? Man, I think that there's just like so many gold rushes that are happening, right? Like I've been playing a little around with virtual reality, and I think that eventually, when all these things get slapped together, you've got a super powerful marketing tool and a great opportunity for developers to code these things. I mean, they're going to need people. I'm not going to do it. That sounds way too hard for me. But I'm going to go out there and sell these to a bunch of businesses and say, you can create a living, breathing chatbot that can, handle and process all these different things. And you as a business owner, this is what that's going to do to your bottom line. So really, it's like this symbiotic relationship between developers and marketers that I think we're almost running in parallel, but now we're like running next to each other. So there's we're not at odds with each other. We're actually in tandem. It's just kind of interesting.
Yeah, you're definitely right on that part. It's all going to mix and match, and the biggest thing people are thinking now, well, developers I know, and the developer communities I'm in, a lot of people think augmented reality is going to take over virtual reality. People think virtual reality is kind of a little fad. Augmented reality is where the real money is going to be. Investors are going to invest into your businesses through that, and people are going to use that to implement their businesses too. Like, don't leave your house. You're going to see like augmented reality to check in the store to see if they have it, save you gas, save you money, So all these things are coming out, and people are starting to catch up to it.
So how does a chatbot integrate with augmented reality? Because I see VR. I think I see it very easily for VR, but I'm still struggling to see the practical use cases in AR unless Like what are you, how does that, like, how do you see chatbots integrating with augmented reality?
Well, the first thing people see is AR is they think Pokemon Go, but it's a little bit more. That's just a game. But you
Right.
can use it for your like actual business. That's what a lot of developers are thinking. Like, what can we do with this? We do a little bit of coding, mix it with your chatbot. Your chatbots will tell you in documented reality, like they're real people, will tell you, oh, we have this in stock. We don't have this in stock. I feel like that's going to be the future. That's what we're going to start seeing more businesses implement.
Hmm.
Um,
So it'll be able to, because augmented reality, right, is
yeah,
still would interface on the phone, or I mean, I'm like, or do they need like I'm still. I think I don't have it. The only augmented reality that I've played with are stupid games. So I
yeah,
think that's what I'm trying. But I've seen it with a lot of shopping, and you're able to go up and you're able to scan, a product, or you're able to take hold the picture over the product, and the product, comes to life. So yeah, actually, I see how a chatbot can interact. You scan the product, and then the chatbot engages with you
yeah.
as well. So very, very, very cool. I don't know, guys, if you have questions for Sal. Sal is someone who's way smarter than me and has been in the programming world for years now, decades, right? I mean, I'd imagine that you're
Yeah.
coming up on your 10,000 hour rule. So for sure. Sean says, are we talking chat fuel platform only or many crash too? Does Dialogflow, I don't know, does Dialogflow integrate with their platform yet?
Yeah. Dialogflow integrates with Chatfield and Manny Crash. But the thing is, with Manny Crash is, we really haven't figured. Well, we did a little bit of coding, but they're still doing their JSON or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure about them. But Chatfield, I know 100% it works.
Right.
We have a really smart programmer, Ryan, in the community. He actually made one that's faster. There was someone else who just made one recently. I'm trying to think, who was it? I don't know, but he made it too. I made one, but Ryan actually made his first. So I threw mine kind of to the side. But if there's any trouble, I can still help people integrating it if run kit's not working for them. Um,
So okay, so great. So Chatfield is good.
yeah.
I'm looking at Denlin said that she has a question. Is FlowXO, where does that fit into here? Do you know? I haven't played with that a little bit. Have you?
FlowXO, they're integratable. I'm not really a fan of them, but I know a couple people have asked me Dialogflow questions with them, and I've helped them. But their platform's the same thing. Integrate with Twilio, like I mentioned earlier, with Dialogflow.
So Dialogflow can also integrate with Twilio as well.
Dialogflow can integrate with anything, pretty much. I'll put it that way. Yeah,
Huh.
it's flexible. It's NLP. They call it NLP.
Yeah.
So
Because we just started using Twilio. Literally, we signed up last week, and we just started sending out our first little bit of messaging. So that's just interesting. That's really, really interesting, guys. Any other questions that you guys have on here? Derek says Amazon is going to have VR AR windows pop up. So it's definitely not going away, guys. It's definitely not going away. So let's as we wrap up and kind of get out of here, Sal, talk to me. You mentioned that the reason that we're kind of talking here is that you are starting a project to help bridge the gap for dumb marketers like me. I'm sorry if you're out there watching marketer, you're not dumb, but I'm dumb. And helping them to find the answers for this developer stuff. So can you talk a little bit about the community that you guys are starting?
Yeah. The community, it's going to be like a website, like a community website, like you can chat. We're also going to have people share their Facebook groups. We have no problem with that in the community. I told Hector about it a couple weeks ago. I think he still wasn't sure, but he's allowed to share his group once we get this website rolling. So basically,
This is me signing on for you, man. This is me. Yeah, I think it's going to be great for people to have a resource to be able to know that if they are a marketer, that hey, I'm going to go here for some developer support, and if they're a developer, that I mean, I'd imagine developers, one of the best things they can do is start connecting with marketers so that they can
Right.
make some money off of it. Otherwise,
Exactly.
I just know developers who are so scared of the marketing side that they should just, and likewise, I'm so scared of the developing side. I'm never gonna, you're like, anyone can code. I'm like, yes, anyone can, but I will not. So that's why I have no problem paying people like you to do it for me. But I think it's gonna be really, really important for people like me to have an outlet to go out and find those resources. More importantly, find those people. Because I remember like the whole Steve Jobs and Wozniak, the Jobs and Wozniak kind of pairing. I always thought that was interesting, right? It was like you had the marketer, the salesperson, and then the developer. And Jobs was the marketer, and Wozniak was the coder and developer. And you see that kind of a lot today, right? I just have numerous friends where it's like a 1-2 punch. It's like a marketer developer, and it's like it's happening more and more. And I think that those, I don't know, I think you and Carl said kind of happened organically. Like my partner kind of happened organically, but I think that moving forward, people should go have some self-awareness and go, I'm not a coder, I'm not a developer. I need to have these tools in my back pocket. I need to go find somebody who can do it. And similarly, as a developer, they go, I have all these tools, but shit, I need someone to sell it. So, to have this place where there's this community of people meeting, I think is going to be super important. So which do they go? I posted that link. Is that a Facebook page that you
Yeah,
created?
it's a Facebook page to Maxia, my machine learning AI that I'm working on for Facebook. Like people keep bothering me. I should open up an open it's going to be part of the open source community. His name is Max AI. He's been an artificial intelligence I've been working on for a couple of years now. I think I'm ready to release. So businesses are going to be able to use them to help them, like with their business and stuff.
Wow.
So it's going to be a cool product. Right now, I'm testing on a couple businesses. One of them is Dawn. She said that we work together. She said that I could use for her business and see how it works out, test it out.
Very cool. I love it, man. I think that this is so awesome. And the interviews that I'm doing here, they start out as like, oh, let's talk about chatbots, and then it becomes to like, oh man, we're gonna like, find a way to somehow like change the world. And like similarly, like the fact that you have this open source AI project that you're just gonna give is powerful stuff, man. I think that that's a beautiful thing that is really around in the developer world, and it's great that us marketers aren't coming around and tarnishing all of that goodwill that you guys are throwing out there. So I wanna commend you for that, man, and that's an awesome thing.
Thanks.
Guys, if you guys are not connected with Sal, I'm not going to tell you to friend request him, because that would be, some people don't like you sending messages at 4 a.m., which apparently some of you guys are doing. However, I would definitely encourage you to get connected with Sal and the Max AI Facebook group or the Facebook page.
Yeah, my friend box is at like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I don't know how I got so many people to add me. It's like 100 or something, 200.
Yeah, and this live video is not going to help you. I'm sorry.
So whoever adds me, I have to look through it because I'm kind of picky. But if you watch the video, just send me a message, tell me you watched the video, and I'll accept the request.
Yeah, get and go. And I know you have a Facebook group, right? Dialogflow community that you kind of.
Yeah, I'm the moderator with Carl and another young guy who's also good.
Yeah. So guys, if you guys want to connect there, you guys can go into the Dialogflow. It's called Dialogflow Community, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
We were able to get the name. We were able to get the name because Google never actually made an actual community like Facebook has theirs with AI. Right. So we were able to get it.
Well, there you go, guys. Stake your claim and get ready, because this stuff is definitely coming down the hatch. So we have one more interview today on the summit. Kim Barrett, we're going to talk later today. So Stay tuned, and we'll be back in a little bit.